Welcome to the Afro Latina Show. I am your host, Alicia Anabel Santos, La Diosa Dominicana, La Santera. Welcome to episode 104, Learning from Our Mistakes. Yo, how many times are we going to repeat the same shit before we have a breakthrough, yo? Real talk. How many times are we going to make the same mistakes before we make a change, before we leave the environment, the job, the lover, the city, the poison? What is the mistake that we have been playing on repeat like a 45? And some of y'all are way too young to know what a 45 is. It is a record. It is a small disc. We played it on a record player back in the days. I remember going to see a spiritual counselor many years ago. She's a woman who spoke with the angels, and we sat in her house, and she told me about my past, that I have been here before. I have been here many times before. I have been here so many times because I've been coming back until I get it right. And there's something about that, right? You know, there's something that I haven't completed. There's something that I keep getting wrong. And so that's what today's diary is about. You know, when will we learn from our mistakes? And so there are three things that I'm meditating on tonight. What's the lesson that keeps coming up? What's the shit that we keep repeating? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. And why? So what's the lesson? What's the mistake? And why do we think that is? And so I think for me, if I think about mistakes that I've made in love is a really easy one for me. I would pick the same kind of people, right? I would pick partners that I thought I could save, that I thought I could fix, that I thought I could cure, that I thought I could change, that I gave everything to. And then I also stayed in relationships that were dishonoring, right? I stayed in relationships with people who were less than me, who weren't worthy of me, because I didn't believe in me. I didn't believe in my self-worth. I wasn't loving myself. And so it was very easy for me to pick partners who would dishonor me because I was dishonoring me. So that was a mistake that I kept repeating. I was, you know, back in the days when I was with the other gender, I was picking the same kind of dudes. And then when I came out as a lesbian, I started to kind of model those bad behaviors in my new life, in my rebirth. And one of the things that I learned early on in my relationship, especially with the first woman I ever was with, was that how much abuse can I take? And how many times am I going to continue to make the same mistake? How many times am I going to continue to pick partners that are no good for me? And so even the relationship after that, you know, being with someone that I thought I could fix or save in some way and stay because I see the potential. That's the other shit too. That sometimes we stay in these things because we have all this hope that things are going to, you know, go our way, when the truth is maybe that thing isn't for us. I talk a lot about that. I talk a lot about the shit that's not for us, that we try to force feed ourselves with, that we try to keep. And that shit never works. That shit never works. And so I think for me, when I think about mistakes that I've made, a lot of it is wrapped up in my own potential. I think for a while I was finding my sense of self and worth in the way people saw me, in the way they loved me, in the way they lifted me and held me at a certain standard, when I wasn't seeing myself in that way. And when I believed that they didn't see me in that way, that revealed a different truth. You know, when you look to others to give you shit that you're not giving yourself, that mirrors something really interesting. Tonight I watched a documentary about Cary Grant's life. He's an English-American actor, or was, back in like the 30s, 40s, 50s, dope, black and white. Like when film first started, he was phenomenal. And there were a few quotes, but there was one that really struck me that I wanted to share tonight. Back in the day, Cary Grant was doing an LSD treatment. That was kind of in fashion. It was, you would be kind of hypnotized and you'd be in this other place and things would come up. And he was dealing, at the time, he was dealing a lot with his own insecurities, his own demons, and his mommy issues. His mother abandoned him when he was a young boy. She just like one day up and bounced. And so that played itself in a lot of different things. Let me read some of the quotes. LSD made me realize I was killing my mother through my relationships with other women. I was punishing them for what she had done to me. I was making the mistake that each of my wives was my mother. Once you realize that you have all things inside you, love and hate alike, and you learn to accept them, then you can use your love to exhaust your hate. And then there's this other quote. The first breakthrough came when I realized I was the one responsible for repeating the same mistakes and patterns. One day, when I was twisting myself all over the sofa in the doctor's office, it was as if a light finally went on in my brain. I had to take command. I finally realized that all the pain I thought my mother had caused me, I had caused her pain too. So that last part about him owning that he caused her pain too, I think that's a really beautiful line, because that's calling us to task on recognizing the roles that we play in the fucked upness that is us. And what I love about that quote is this idea of his breakthrough being that he realized that he was realizing the same, he was repeating the same mistakes and patterns. And that the truth is that he's the one that had to take command and make a change and transform and learn something from that experience. And so for me, well, let's meditate, and then we'll continue to reflect. Let's meditate on that. What that means to us, right? I want us to reflect and meditate on how are we responsible for repeating the mistakes and patterns. All right, so let's close our eyes and let's get comfortable. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep breathing calmly. I hope you're in a quiet place and you're not in some bar listening to my show. But if you are, that would be dope if you could close your eyes in that bar, sitting there with your cocktail and the music blazing. Breathe. I'm calling you to be really honest right now. I need you to be truthful. Don't lie to yourself. What is the mistake? What is the shit you keep repeating? What is that mistake that you keep repeating? Name it. You've named it. Why do you continue to make that mistake? Don't say you don't know. There's something that you know to be true. What do you know to be true about that mistake? Why do you keep making the same choice? What is it? What's the thing? What's the thing that brings you back to it, that keeps you stuck in it? What is it? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? The first word that comes to your mind is the truth. Write that shit down. And what do you know to be the thing that's going to help you transform that and change it into something that you're going to stop doing, change? How can you make a change? What's the thing? How can you break that pattern? What are you going to recognize? What are you going to do differently? We're being called to shift and make choices in our lives, and we can no longer blame everyone. We can no longer blame mommy and daddy for all of our fucked up issues. Yes, they are a cause, but if we continue to hold on to shit and we continue to make the same mistakes, now we're the ones to fucking blame, because we're the ones who are stuck there repeating it. So let's be honest. There's some comfort in the pain. There's some comfort in the staying stuck and the pity and playing victim. There's comfort in that. There's an addiction to pain. But what does recovery look like? What does saving yourself look like? Yo, I talk a lot about saving yourself. These days, my recovery is deep. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. When you're ready, open your eyes and let's talk some truth. For me, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I keep repeating that have me stuck is this fucking paralyzing insecurity around making it, getting there. But the truth is that I'm obsessing over some bullshit that's a fucking lie. Like this, I want to make it and I want this success, and all of that is lovely. All of that is amazing. But the truth is, if I allow self-doubt to consume me, I'm never going to achieve shit. And I can no longer sit here and blame mommy and daddy for not lifting me and for not telling me that they believed in me and that I could be anything that I want to be, and that I could chase that dream, and that it's not frivolous, and that it's not some bullshit job. And then I need to once and for all put that shit to fucking bed and kill it, because the truth is, I have always had the gifts and the ability and the talent to be any fucking thing that I wanted to be. And if I haven't achieved the level of greatness that is my destiny, that shit's on me. I cannot sit here anymore and blame that whack-ass teacher in the 4th fucking grade who stomped all over me and made me feel like shit, or that little boy that called me a nigger, or all the people that called me an ugly, skinny, flat-chested, fucking big bird, all that bullshit that we want to carry. That's part of our DNA, because it's in our blood. And I'm not saying that it's not real, that the trauma is not real, that it's not in my body, that I don't carry generational trauma, because I know I fucking do, as a Black woman, as a Latina, as a lesbian, as a Dominican woman, as the daughter of immigrants. You know, all of those labels and spaces that I navigate, I can no longer hold on to the shit that stifles me as this fucking crutch. So when are you going to take that fucking 45 and break that shit in half and say, okay, I'm rewriting this fucking narrative for myself? Yo, if you are in an abusive relationship right now with someone, and you have been with this person for a long time, and you swear to God that this person's going to change because you love them so much and you see their fucking potential, because you know that in the depths of them there is good, that's fucking wonderful. I know we are all children of God and we are all beautiful. But if you're putting me down and treating me like shit and making me feel like I'm nothing, then you got to go, because I can't be around that. That's not lifting me. That's not affirming. And so it's very easy for me to say, yo, bounce. But all I want to say is save yourself. Because if you're staying, it's because you're holding on to old shit, old narratives. And I pray that you seek help. I pray that you call on your tribe, on warriors that will support you. It is not easy to walk away. It is not easy to choose you. It's easy for me to say it, save yourself. But yo, that moment that you take that you put that fucking mask on, or you put that vest on, or you take that hand and you pull yourself out of the fucking abyss. I remember I was in one of my many bouts of depression, and one of my dear friends, Rock Wilkes, said, I told him about this dream, and I said, yo, I am fucking sinking in quicksand, and I feel the sand dragging me down tight. It has this fucking death grip on my feet, on my ankles, on my legs, and it's pulling me down, and it's pulling me down, and it's pulling me down, and I can't find my way out. And he said, oh, fucking hell no, because I was feeling it wrapped around my throat. He's like, I will throw a rope and I will pull you the fuck out of that. You need people like that. You need people that are like, I will pull you out of that fucking quicksand because I am never going to let you sink. I got you. If you don't got people like that in your life, please find them. Please find them. If you have someone in your life who's debilitated, and I'm talking about bosses too, because I've had that boss too. And it took my 12-year-old daughter to see me broken, to see me on the verge of my breakdown that I did have at that time, that I'm crying because I'm like, this white lady is making me feel like I'm nothing, a piece of shit, stepping all over me. And she's slurping her little noodles saying, Mommy, if you're so unhappy, why don't you just quit? Yo, that was the wisest shit. I tell you, it is like God speaks to my daughter all the time. I know that I'm speaking to a fucking angel because when she was a little girl, I was like, yo, spirit enters her sometimes and drops some gems that are like, whoa. And a 12-year-old, she don't know what the fuck she's saying. She's like, yo, if you're so unhappy, quit. And I'm like, you motherfucking right, yo. You are motherfucking right. We out. Fuck this. Fuck that. I'm worth more. And so all of that to say, what are the lessons that are to be learned from my mistakes? I know for me personally, so many of my traumatic, most devastating, painful, ugly moments have been to give me strength, a tremendous amount of strength that I walk with, because I am a strong ass motherfucker for real. I have withstood so much shit and I keep getting up. I fall, I kick. People send me their fucked up energy on a regular and I'm deflecting that shit like Wonder Woman all day, every fucking day. Their shit can't get through, can't get in, period. And for me, I'm dead ass serious about not allowing motherfuckers in my space. When I tell you that my phone does not ring, it does not ring. Nobody calls me, nobody texts me, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because for me, I feel like my sacred space is protected all the time. And so that took me a lot of mistakes to get to. Because before I was letting everybody in and I was giving of myself to everyone. And that shit is deaded. That is done. I give of myself when I choose, when it feels good for me, when it is not depleting, when I'm not feeling used or taken advantage of. And so all of that to say, I pray that you are learning from your mistakes. I pray that you find a way not to repeat those mistakes because there are lessons that we're supposed to learn and we're supposed to keep it moving, right? We're supposed to fuck up and fall, get up, dust ourselves off and do the shit differently next time, not do the shit like for the next 30, 40 years because we're going to get the same result. And so with that, I said a lot. I said a lot before going to bed because I am going to bed soon. Family, I am wishing you, I record these diaries every day because I'm hoping that from my experiences, there is something that touches your heart, that touches your soul. And helps to give you some courage to say, you know what, fuck that. I'm going to do me. I'm going to choose me, because truly my diaries every day are about me. And I make it about us, but they're about me. And my intention is always to feed me first, because I want to be able to give from a place of love and generosity and bliss and joy. And so I know that this podcast in particular was a little powerful, because sometimes we don't want to see the truth about how we show up in the world and how we are the cause for the mistakes that we're making, because it's cute to blame other people. That's real fucking cute. But let's grow up. Let's grow up, yo. And so I'm wishing you all the most amazing evening wherever you are in the world. I'm wishing you peace. I'm wishing you love. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, my iTunes, my SoundCloud. Leave your reviews. Follow me on Instagram, Alicia La Santera, and Afro Latina Show on Twitter and Tumblr, Diosa Dominicana. And shoot me an email if you just want to check in and share what's rising for you. info.aliciaanabel@gmail.com. My intention for this evening is to sleep peacefully. Have an amazing, amazing evening, family. See you tomorrow. Peace.